departments of knowledge and bring back various skills, and also setting up many colleges. That's what is happening. I mean to say, now it will come in so previously you might have heard that they transform Rahaspati into a calf and making the senses into a pot, and they milk all kind of Vedic knowledge to purify words, minds, and hearing. So they are actually trying to. This is all a way of putting things, but they are trying to consult many sages and demigods and Gandharvas and Yakshas, going in upper planetary systems and lower planetary systems, bring back to the earth knowledge and all the precious things from everywhere, and trying to make this earth glorious. That's what Prithvi is trying to do. Just like any king, just like any king. A king, he wants all opulences, all knowledge, all name and fame for his kingdom. So Prithu is the king of this entire earth, and he makes sure that earth again becomes glorious and people become happy. So this is one of the verse now. Here, and Srila Prabhupada writes here in this verse. Srila Prabhupada writes, okay, let's see what he writes here. All the demigods made Indra, the king of heaven, into a calf, and from the earth they milked the beverage Som, which is nectar. Thus they became very powerful in mental speculation, bodily and sensual health. So what's happening is here, Indri Shakti Balam Deha Shakti. Oh, okay, it goes like that. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, the word Soma means nectar. Soma is a kind of beverage made in heavenly planets. From moon to the kingdom of demigods in various planetary systems. By drinking the Soma beverage, the demigods become more powerful mentally and increase essential power and bodily strength. The words Hiranmayana Patrena indicate that Soma beverage is not ordinary intoxicating liquor. Demigods would not touch any liquor, nor is Soma a kind of drug. It is a different kind of beverage available in heavenly planets. Soma is far different from liquors made from demoniac people, as explained in the next verse. So the whole thing, what's happening is, let's see what Prabhupada is trying to tell. Om Jnanatyamirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Okay. So the whole point here is Kritva Vatsam Suragana. The whole point is a simple allegory is given here. Of course, I mean to say, Mother Earth, she took a form of a cow. We all know. She was afraid of Prithu. She took form of a cow. And why did she take the form of the cow? Because cow should not be killed according to Vedic culture. In fact, according to Vedic culture, if cow is killed accidentally, for that also there is heavy punishment and a heavy prayashchit, even if accidentally a cow is killed. There are many stories about cow, and famous stories where kings were protecting cow, risking their own lives. Many stories. So that's why they said, Go Brahmana Hitayacha. Krishna loves cows and Brahmanas. In fact, in Krishna book, Prabhupada says, Go Brahmana, Prabhupada says, even more than Brahmanas, Krishna is interested in protecting cows. And that's quite interesting. Because cows are, without cows you cannot do any yagyas. All yagyas are finished. If all yagyas are finished, Vedas are over, because all these sanskaras and everything is based on yagyas. All the rituals, and you don't have ghee to do yagya. Of course, yagyas cannot be done with oil. You cannot use oil. Truly, if you want to do yagyas, so ghee is there, then cow dung is there to make things pure. Cow is simply indispensable. That's why Brahmanas in donation always took cows from kings. So that's why Krishna is interested more in protecting cows than Brahmanas. I mean to say, if you want to understand that statement of Srila Prabhupada in Krishna book, you might argue why Krishna is interested in protecting cows more than Brahmanas. this is crazy. But this is not crazy, because from the perspective of doing fire sacrifices, this statement can make sense. I mean, so it's not that Krishna doesn't take care of Brahmanas, and Brahmanas are not important. Of course, Brahmanas are the most important. In Gita again, and Krishna mentions about Brahmanas, and the whole Varnashrama and the whole Vedic system is actually anchored on Brahmanas. If Brahmanas are the head of the society, if head is gone, everything is gone. What cows will do if there are no Brahmanas? People will simply kill them and eat them. Just like today, there are so many slaughterhouses. There are no Brahmanas. People are killing them. So when Prabhupada says cows are more important to Krishna than Brahmanas, or Krishna takes care more for cows than Brahmanas, that has to be understood in the perspective of doing fire sacrifices. Otherwise, both are important. So anyway, so the whole point is mother took form of cow. She understood that the taking form of a cow, she becomes immortal. As long as she's cow, nobody can kill her. Especially Prithu, because Prithu is literal incarnation of God, and he will not do something which is adharma. At least he will at least go to the last limits and avoid killing a cow. That's the whole point there. So she took form of a cow, and so that's the allegory given here. Various people, they took form of a calf. Why? Because calf drinks the milk of a cow. And in fact, this allegory is given right in Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya, where it is said, so what's that verse? Dugdham pitva, what's that verse? Gita Mahatmya. I'm just forgetting that verse. Where Krishna is a cow.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sarvopanishad Gavo.
Oh yeah. So that verse is Sarvopanishad Gavo Yogda Gopal Partho Vatsa Sudhir Mahat. It's the same thing, you see. Same example is used. The example which is the allegory which they are using, cow and a calf. Gita Mahatma uses the same allegory. Sarva Upanishad Gavo, so they made Upanishads as a cow. Dogda Gopal Nandana, and Krishna became the milkman, and Arjuna became the calf, and he drank the milk. See? It's a beautiful analogy. So that analogy is used here again and again in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, and they're making calf, and they're making everybody as a calf. Indra has become calf, and Brahaspati has become the calf. Yakshas become calf, and the whole point is they took the advantage of they actually took respective things from the earth. Earth, we know, she was hiding things in her womb, and we also know that earth is sarva kama dukh. She fulfills the desire of everyone and all kind of desires for maintenance, for sustenance. But she was hiding. But here, as a cow and a calf, I mean to say, when a calf comes in front of a cow automatically she gives the milk. If anybody knows about cow and a calf, automatically. So that's why this example is given. Now, earth has become liberal. You see the point here. Earth has the whole incidence between Prithu and Earth, and there was a contract that okay, for people on this planet, for men, she said okay, they should do agriculture, and in that way they should produce food and then eat it. And then she might have also advised many other things, and Prithu was following, and by some system of actually cultivating earth or using the herbs of the earth and whatever, by the process mentioned by Shastras, they were actually trying to get so many things in the kingdom, Prithu and his followers, and they were again trying to revive the glory of Mother Earth. It was happening, and trying to bring management and order in the whole kingdom. So that's the whole point. So So this is an example of Vatsam, a calf and a cow. That's how we understand here. Now what's happening is Indra, all the demigods made Indra the king of heaven. Now by this we can understand that there was a chaos not only on earth but all the three planetary systems. There was a big chaos at this time. I mean to say, if there was a chaos in only on the earthly planet, a literal incarnation of God would not have been so much necessary. Maybe not, but Prithvi was especially powerful in the sense that he made a chariot, and the chariot could actually what do we say, revolve around sun. It was such a big chariot. It could go around sun just like Mother Earth, and the wheels of the chariot, it just split the land of the earth into continents. Now you can imagine what kind of chariot it should be. He was such a powerful personality, and he could go to heavenly planets, he could go to lower planetary systems. He had access to all dimensions. That was Prithu. And by this we can understand there was anarchy and chaos all over the universe. Somehow King Vane, he was like a messed up person. And he made a messed up, he actually messed up things beyond repair. And that's why these rishis had to kill him. He was such a nonsense. I would say he was like, he would have been like almost like Hiranyakashipu. So he would have been like a very cunning person and at the same time a foolish king. He was foolish. First of all, we can understand by reading what he was doing. He was not just an intelligent demon, but he was a foolish demon. That's what he was, and that's why he tried to stop all these yagyas and brahmanas and Vedas. He came under influence of Jainism also. We know through Vishnu Puran, and Jainism is a atheistic religion, and and they don't acknowledge Vedas and Vishnu, and because of that also he became really mad. But he was fool because he couldn't understand politics. That if he stops all these things, and majority of people are Brahmanas, they will revolt against him, and it happened. So basically, I think he was a combination. Okay, let's put it like this: he was a combination of Rahul Gandhi and probably Lalu Yadav, something like that. Something Lalu. He was cunning and he was a fool. Something like this. I mean, just everybody says Rahul Gandhi is a useless politician in that context. So he was a unique combination. He made a mess out of it, and that's why even Indra, all the demigods made Indra into a calf. So even Indra was really unhappy because what happened on Earth, and of course I mean to say demigods also went into chaos because on the Earth we know King Vane, he stopped fire sacrifices, and when fire sacrifices stopped and there are no brahmanas, demigods become weak. We understand from Vedic literatures, demigods get strength from fire sacrifices which people do on this earth, and Krishna says the whole cycle in Bhagavad Gita. So and when then they get strength, then they fulfill all the needs of people on this earth. They send rains and sunlight and moonlight and blah blah blah. So demigods would have become really weak. I mean, they would have become like really emaciated and like like in Africa you see this all these undernourished kids. They might have become like that somehow. So what to do? So demigods asked Indra do something. Now again, situation on earth is okay, and from earth, Kritva Vatsam Suragana Indram Somam Aduduhan. So from earth, they milked the beverage Soma. Somam. Aduduham matlab, they milked. Now the whole point is that Srila Prabhupada says from moon to the kingdoms of God. Now this Soma is a kind of beverage which actually goes from the moon. Actually, really, in real sense, the factories for making Soma is kind of beverage, and we'll talk about this in a few moments. But Soma is a called kind of beverage, a type of wine, heavenly wine, which is very different from worldly wine, which is manufactured on moon. There are factories on the moon. That's all. You might say we can't see these factories on the moon. man went on moon, but the whole point is, yeah, of course, I meant to say, even if you agree man went to moon, but they didn't actually circumambulate the entire moon. Nobody has seen the entire moon. And that's why India was trying to launch the satellite on the south pole of the moon, where nobody has gone. Of course, their mission failed. I was just reading. So there are many places in moon which we have not still scanned, which we have not reached. And then also Srila Prabhupada says, even if you go to moon, you will not be able to see anything because these demigods, they live in different dimension and they will confuse you by their magic. That's also possible. So there are factories, there are palaces, there are so many things on moon. And in these factories, they make Soma. And that's why the moon is called Soma, because the main product of moon is Soma. That's the whole point. The name of that planet becomes Soma because because on moon there are factories and factories and factories of Soma. I mean to say, everybody's everybody's in that industry of producing Soma. Everybody's a job there. 99% of people are working in those factories of making Soma and managing to export and import Soma. I mean to say, everything's Soma there. That's all. So they are making Soma, they are importing Soma. Sometimes they are exporting Soma also to various heavenly planets, uh, and and they're sometimes importing when there's a need. So when the demand is much and they're not able to produce, so they import. So everything is Soma. So Soma, Soma, Soma. That's why moon is called Soma. You see the point there? Uh, just like, for example, oh, what's that? Just like, for example, this Reliance or Airtel. Airtel is mostly, when we say of Airtel, we think of internet because Airtel is all about internet. So similarly, moon is all about Soma. So this Soma, they produce Soma. Now Indra, he um, he actually made Soma. He actually made earth for the beverage Soma. This means that even on the earth, um, they can get some herbs from earth, and then they can take to moon and produce Soma there. That's possible. It's almost like, aliens coming to earth for maybe okay, for a rare element, for a rare metal like platinum, and they're taking platinum to their own planet and using this planet platinum to make a different technology. So it is said that this Soma plant, it was available on earth in the area of Pakistan, so modern Pakistan. This plant was available in deserts, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Arab countries, and demigods used to come and take that and produce Soma in their planet moon. So this plant which actually produces Soma, actually I forgot the name of that plant. The plant that produces Soma. So there's a name of this plant that produces Soma, and that plant is available on Earth, and that plant is available on various other planetary systems. So there's a whole network of moon and other planetary systems, and they import this plant, and they of course grow in the moon also. And they are continuously making this somras. Somras is a prime beverage of heavenly planets. There is no party without somras. Just like there's no party without wine here. And instead of water, they drink somras more. Because, why? Because it is said here, and I'll tell why. There is a reason for that. But but the whole point is, let's see here. It's the secret of Soma Plant. So the whole point here is, it's a big network and it's a big business for the moon, of course. The moon god is doing this business, and they're earning a lot. Of course, I mean to say, this also happens in Heavenly Kingdom. It's not that they are not earning and there's no currency. Kuber is the finance, the CEO of, and also the head of, the finance minister of demigods, and we know that, and we also know that sometimes some demigods go into debt and they have to take loan from Kuber. It's the same system in heavenly planets. What is there on the earthly planets and what is there on the lower planetary system? It's the same system. Uh, but at the same time, okay, the plant is okay. The Soma plant is called as ephedra. Some modern scholars say like that, and connected with Afghanistan and Iran. Yeah. So in Persia, this plant was available in Persia, ephedra, and in Chinese language, this Soma is called as Ma Huang, Ma Huang, and in ordinary language, it's called as ephedra, ephedra. Somniferous was that botanical name, but it's called ephedra. So this is what is Soma. So you see the point, see? So it was available in China, Ma Huang. The name was Ma Huang. Scholars put it like that. It was available in Persia, this plant, and Afghanistan. It is called as ephedra, and and of course it would have been many there is. But the whole point is nobody knew how to make soma. So it was imported to demigods. Demigods. I meant to say previous to Kali Yuga there was a space travel allowed, and demigods were coming in and out. And we might be giving them Soma plant and in exchange of something, and then they took it to moon and then they produced that Somras. Okay, so that's one reason for which demigods used to visit Earth. One of the many reasons. You see the point. So that was a whole point there. Yeah. Anyway, so you can do some research there about Soma also. You can see that yourself. So the whole point I'm making is that yes, so Indra, he got Earth was hiding things, and now she's freely giving so many things. She's even providing Soma plant. Nowadays, you don't find Soma plant, but you can. I mean to say, if you still go to Afghanistan and Pakistan area, still they sell a tea which is made of Soma plant. They, they call it a Soma plant. And they make a tea, and in the markets you will get this tea made of Soma plant. You will get this tea made of ephedra. Still, if you go there. But of course, it doesn't have the same effect what demigods make, because the process of making som ras is different. Soma plant might be available here, and you might make a tea out of it. I mean, you can get some kind of energy, but to make som ras, nobody knows the technique, and it's their own factory. So okay, so Indra, Earth was very happy. She was liberal, charitable. She was giving things, and Indra took this opportunity, and Indra came and took this Soma plant. And also, and of course, in exchange of that, they might have given Somaras to some of the people on the earth, but they milked. And why they milked Soma plant? Now, the whole point is why Prithu is allowing earth to give Soma plant to demigods. This was given as a sacrifice and as presents to demigod, so that they can provide rains and sunlight and moonlight for the agriculture. That's how it went. And once agriculture is there, there's food, and once the food is there, the problem is solved, because the whole problem was there was no food. People were dying. And that's where the whole story began. Ritu became angry and he wanted to kill Mother Earth. So, so what's so special in Soma? That's the whole point. Why demigods want this Soma? Because of Vidyam Ojo Balam Paya. Now, Soma is a kind of paya. Paya means a drink. Paya means milk. A drink, for example. And this drink is stored in Hiranyamayana Patran, in a golden vessel. Somras is to be kept in a golden vessel. Because if you don't keep somras in golden vessel, it will deteriorate. You can't keep somras in iron vessel, in glass bottles, just like this wine is there. You can't do that, because if you do that, the somras will get spoiled. So you need gold vessels. So at large, I mean to say, even if you want to produce so much somras, you need big golden vessels, and that's difficult, to hide and from thieves and all those. In moon, there's no problem. Moon, everything is made of gold. Even streets are made of gold. Prabhupada says, streets, they are not made of cement; they're made of gold. You can imagine. That's how rich moon is. So their gold is a very ordinary commodity, it seems. So they have golden vessels and they keep somras there. Of course, for somras they need golden vessels. They might have got some security system, but they have these golden vessels, and they keep in golden vessels. So just like it is also said, milk of a lioness, that should be kept in a golden vessel. Otherwise, in any other vessel, uh, it will create a hole and by some chemical reactions. But it's the milk of a lioness is very powerful, very acidic, and as soon as you keep in any other vessel, it will get corroded and there's a hole and it gets spoiled, and the milk will also get spoiled. But so milk of a lioness has to be kept in golden vessel. Similarly, somras is to be kept in Hiranyamaya and Patrena. And what's so special in somras? Why these demigods are mad after somras? Because of three things: Viryam, Ojam, and Balam. Now the whole point is Ojam, Viryam means Manashakti. So the somras gives mental power. Prabhupada says mental power, Manashakti. Viryam. It makes the mind very strong. Strong for what? Strong for doing meditations. Strong for doing mystic. Strong for actually using mystic powers, which they have for protecting the heavenly planets from demoniac powers. They need that. And Ojo means Indriya Shakti, that is strength of senses. Oja is generally related with sense. So they need strong senses, because of strong senses. The strong body has a strong mind. If their body is weak, their mind will be weak. So they need strong bodies. And Balam. So Balam means Deha Shakti, strength of body. So the difference between Oja and Balam is Oja means strong senses. The senses become very strong and acute to actually exercise their mystic powers again, and of course to enjoy also. They need strong senses to enjoy, and also to serve God. I mean to say, like for example, Daksh Prajapati, he has to produce thousands of progeny. I mean to say, in Bhagavatham it comes, God blesses Daksha Prajapati with the power to produce thousands of children. Otherwise, how many children a human can beget? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you try to do more, either the female will die or the male will die. You will become mad. You can't produce children after children. Now you can die. So, but Daksha Prajapati is producing thousands of children. All these Prajapatis, they are blessed with a powerful sensuality. Their senses become very strong. So they need strong senses, not only to enjoy but also to serve God, and also to exercise their mystic powers to protect themselves from demonic powers. So there's a purpose of making their senses strong. And then Balam. Balam means making their bodies strong. Because when the body is strong, the senses are strong. When the senses are strong, their mind is strong. When the mind is strong, only a strong mind can cultivate good qualities. That's also said by Madhva. Actually, this is the whole idea is they are entrusted to, they are Deva. Deva means who have virtues in their character, divine qualities. Deva. And they are entrusted to actually cultivate these divine qualities, because they know that cultivating divine qualities helps them to focus their mind on God in bhakti. So Madhva explains like this. So Madhva says that is why they are interested in somras. I mean, so they're not foolish drunkards. They're not like that. They're demigods, especially Indra, Brahaspati, These are sensible demigods. Durga, what about them? Ganesh, they're not fools. Kartikeya, they're sensible people. There are many Gandharvas and Yakshas. There might be some space out demigods, of course. I mean, they might be just loitering around there. But most of them, all the demigods, they are. Anybody who becomes a demigod, the pre-qualification to become a demigod is they at least understand that Vishnu is supreme. They understand that devotion to Vishnu, that's the aim of life. And they also understand that the divine virtues are worth cultivating, and that's the real wealth. So at least this is a pre-qualification, otherwise you don't go up. And Madhva says that is why they want to make their body strong, balam, because the strong body contains strong senses, oja, and strong senses make mind strong, virya. And when the mind is strong, then you can cultivate good qualities. Otherwise, your mind is not strong, you will get fear. And your mind will be weak. You'll not be able to nourish and cultivate good qualities. And the more good qualities you cultivate, the more morning I was talking about Brahmanatva. The more Brahmanatva you have, the more there, the more you are near to God, because you can practice devotion very nicely and actually please Hari, Samsiddhi Hari Doshana. So that's the whole point. So you might be thinking, they get somras and they're all drunkards and useless people, but they're not useless. The whole purpose of drinking somras is very different. You might have seen in serials that demigods are drinking somras, they're enjoying and they're going with females. That's not the whole purpose. Some space out demigod might be doing that. But even Braspati, he drinks somras. What about him? He's a sensible guy. I mean, previous was talking about Braspati. He's Guru. And he has all Vedic knowledge. He drinks somras. And even Ganesh and Kartikeya, they are drinking somras. Even demigoddesses, Parvati, Sachi, they are drinking somras. So what do you say? Even ladies are drinking wine? What is that? It's crazy. They're having a party there. No, there's a purpose of, and that's why somras is glorified in Vedas. There are stutis and verses after verses after verses and hymns after hymns after hymns glorifying somras. And that's what actually the next verse Prabhupada says, and that you can read afterwards. Prabhupada says that somras is not like ordinary liquor and wine. Prabhupada might be saying here same thing. Yeah. Soma is far different from liquors made for demonic people. So all this wine and all these things, that what we get here, that is all demoniac. It takes you under mode of ignorance. But somras takes you into mode of goodness. That's how it goes. Of course, somras increases lust, that we understand. But they're going to mode of goodness. It doesn't pull you into mode of ignorance. Somras doesn't do that. And increases virya, ojo, balam. Wine doesn't do that. Wine doesn't increases your strength of body or strength of wine might increase your strength of senses in the form of lust, but not strength of body. It makes you weak. Drunkards become weak. Their liver fails. And be a mental power. Of course, mental power doesn't become strong. It becomes weak. There you start hallucinating. And Prabhupada says, I think, in the next of the verse that this that the liquor of demons produces hallucinations and they're inferior and all this, and they're like madness. So that's why Vedas, Rig Veda especially, it's giving hymns after hymns about somras. You read Rig Veda and you will see. If you read Rig Veda, you will. I mean to say, you will come to a conclusion. There's just two things in your Rig Veda: Indra and somras. That's all. Verse hymns after hymns after hymns. Soma, 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 Soma. So, because it has a specific function there. It's a gift of God to demigods to actually help approach Him. That's a gift of God. Okay, take this and utilize this properly in a proper way, and fix your mind on me. It will help you. It's not a. It's a different kind of thing. That's all. So that's why this somras is there. Viryam, Ojam, Balam, and let's see here. And that is why it is said a Som Amrita Rupam. That is why Soma in Vedic system It is actually glorified as Amrita, nectar. If so many hymns of Rig Veda, if you read, it says, "Give me Soma, give me nectar." It says like that. So many hymns after hymns. Let's see. Okay. Let's see one of the hymns of Rig Veda. If there is, let me just have a look there. Okay, this is Vedas and Rig Veda, and this is translation. Okay, this is about Agni, and this is about Vayu, and this is about hymns of Shatakratu. So I'm seeing. So actually, I'm seeing Rig Veda. Okay, here. So one of the Rig Veda, which is hymn Rig Veda chapter 1, hymn number 5. You see, it says directly. It says, "Oh, come, sit here. To Indra sing your song, companions, bringing hymns of praise. To Indra, the richest of richest, the Lord of treasures excellent, Indra, with Soma juice outpoured, may he stand by us in our need and in abundance for our wealth. May come, may come near us with his strength. Praise to Soma drinker. Please come for his enjoyment. These pure drops, you see, it is said, these pure drops, the Soma mingled with curd. There might be a special preparation. You mix Soma ras with curd and it will become nectar. Thou, grown at once to perfect strength, was born to drink som juice. You see, it is said Indra is born to bring som juice. O Indra, lover of song, may these quick somas enter thee. May they bring bliss to the sages. You see the point? Soma helps to bring bliss in sages. So it is not like Dam Maro Dam Hare Krishna Hare Ram. It's not like that. Soma brings bliss to sages. How? Because Soma gives mental power and then they can focus on God. And then they can actually, it produces bliss. It's not like psychotropic drugs. Soma should not be confused like drugs which are taken by hippies. It's not like marijuana and LSD. In hippie movement, when America was there, hippies were taking all these LSDs and marijuana. Why they were taking, when they were asked why you are taking this, because they said because when you take this, you enter a different dimension, you get disconnected from this world, and then you can easily enter into meditation. And actually, at that time, they were thinking these drugs were actually Soma juice. They were thinking there were books written on this. Marijuana, LSD, they're like Soma juice, and then they were actually reading these hymns of Rig Veda, and they were, wow, this is nice, and then they were getting bliss and ecstasy in from the spiritual practices. So that's not the whole thing, because these drugs take you into mode of ignorance. Soma juice has the same function, but in mode of goodness. That's the whole point there. So it says, O Indra, lover of song, may these quick Soma enter thee, may they bring bliss to these ages. Our chants of praise have strengthened thee, O Shatakratu. Shatakratu is the name of Indra. Indra is called Shatakratu because Kratu means Yagyas and Shata means 1,000. So Indra is the only person who has done 1,000 Ashwamedh Yagyas. There's nobody who has yet completed 1,000 Ashwamedh Yagyas. Prithu was trying that to do 1,000 Ashwamedh Yagyas, but he managed to do 999, and Indra stopped him from doing 1,001. Why? Because he was proud? No, he was not. It's not that because he was proud. I am called Shatakratu in Vedas, a person who has done 1,000 Ashwamedh Yajnas. How can Prithu become like me? No, that was not the whole point. Indra was thinking. It is explained. Indra was thinking, Vedas glorify me as Shatakratu, and if Prithu becomes Shatakratu, if he manages to do 1,000 Yajnas, 1,000 Ashwamedh Yajnas, Shata means 1,000 or no? I think Shata means what? 100. 100, sorry, 100, not 1,000, sorry. So Prithu managed to do 99, and Indra stopped him from doing 101. So Indra was thinking, Vedas glorify me as Shatakratu, who has done 100 yagyas, and if Prithu managed to do that, then Vedas will become wrong, because then Shatakratu is no longer only glorification of Indra; it becomes glorification of Prithu also. So to protect Vedas, he actually stopped Indra to do 100 yajna. You see the point? That's a very different outlook. A very different outlook. You see the point? Externally, they are fighting. Externally, they are fighting. And that fight externally, it seems for pride and for name and fame. But the fight was actually Indra, and in fact Indra actually cheated Prithu in the whole incident. He stole the horse by cheating. So why he was doing so many things? He was cheating, he was taking many forms to deceive Prithu. And it seems Indra has become mad. Why? Because he wanted to protect Vedic knowledge. That's the whole point. Vedas are God. And demigods will do anything to protect Vedas. Because protecting Vedas is protecting God. That's how it goes. So for protecting Vedas, they will even cheat. They will go to the extent of cheating. Or Arjuna went to the extent of killing to actually protect the mission of Krishna. And everything is justified. To protect religion, to protect Shastras, to protect God and his mission, he can do anything. And that all those actions become divine and pious. And any action which is done to protect oneself, it becomes sinful. And that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Yagya shishtasana santam uchanti sarva kilvishay tetum agam papa ye pachanti atma karanat. Now that verse is generally linked with food, that any food which is not offered to God is sinful. But that verse, all the commentators, they also link. Yagya means all activities. All activities can be offered as sacrifices. So that verse says any activity which is not offered to God, or not offered to God means any activity whose purpose is not to please God, that is simply sinful, because then it means it is to please oneself or one's own kith and kins and people. Tetomagam papa, they're simply producing sins. And Yagya Santo, and anybody who's any activity, whether it might seem as abominable activity in the eyes of people, it might seem like that. Just like killing from Arjuna or cheating, Indra is cheating. It's nasty. But if it is done for the pleasure of God or protection of Krishna's mission, Krishna's name and fame, or Krishna's scriptures, it is Yagya Shishnasinta Muchante Sarva Kilvisha. Actually, it helps to eradicate sins. So Arjuna killing people, it's not in fact entangling Arjuna in sins. Basically, every killing which Arjuna is doing, it is helping him to eradicate his sins. That's interesting. The more killing Arjuna does in Kurukshetra, the more sinless he will become. And what do you say about that? Because Muchante Sarva Kilvishai, Yagya Shishna Asena Santa. He's doing on the orders of God. The more you kill as an army man, the more medals you will get, isn't it? That's the same thing. So that's the whole point there. Somras helps in this. Somras makes your mind so subtle. Viryam and Oja. This Virya means mental power. And the mental power means it makes your mind subtle to actually understand all these complexities, all these subtle concepts of Vedas. And when they understand these subtle concepts of Vedas and the subtle dimensions of this universe and the subtle laws and truths of this universe, then they can connect themselves to God, and then they can serve God properly. That's the whole point. For us, we just have to connect with Him, God, and go back. For demigods, it's a very different story. They have to connect with God, and they have to remain in this material world, and their service is to manage this material world. So to manage this material world, they have to understand even the subtlest law of this material world. Otherwise, they can't manage. For us, it's a very different story. We don't need somras because we don't need such a mental power, because we don't have to manage this earth or entire planetary system. That's not our job. We have to do devotion and go back. But I was thinking, why these people need so much virya, oja and balam? Because they have to manage the entire planetary system. Daksha needs oja to produce progeny. His service is that. Indra, Vayu, Agni, they need this mental power to actually access various dimensions of this universe, to give sunlight and rain and moon, and then coordinate this whole system. It should be very complex. And then also to understand subtle laws. Dharmraj, Yamraj, He needs to understand all the subtle laws, that there is absolutely no error in judgment. They need Virya, they need Ojo, they need Balam. They can't afford to become tired. And that's why it is said demigods don't become tired. They don't become tired because they're continuously taking somras. They need this because it's a heavy job. They are 24/7 busy. Sun is 24/7 busy. The sun doesn't get a holiday. Even on Sunday, sun is going from east to west. Sun never stops. Moon never stops. They need such kind of power for serving God. And that's where Somras, and who is giving them such power? Somras, you see? That's where Somras is glorified like that. And that is why it is said, the power in Somras is God himself. And Krishna says in Gita, of all plants I am Soma, isn't it? Of Aushadhinam I am Soma. What's that? Of all Aushadhis I am Soma. I think he says in Bhagavad Gita there. So this power of giving Viryam, Oja and Balam in Soma, and at the same time keeping people in mode of goodness, that unique combination, because generally when you get power and you are going to mode of ignorance, but they remain in mode of goodness. Because this power is coming from God, it is good power. It is good power. It is not demoniac power. In the wine and beer, there is a demoniac power. That's a demoniac power. But here is a divine power in Somras, and that is why glorifying Soma in Rigved, it's like glorifying God. You see the point? That is why Soma is glorified, because it's glorifying God, because the power is in Soma, is God himself. I think it's there in Vedas. Aushadhinam, of all Aushadhis I am Soma, of all herbs. Somewhere it's just Soma. Yeah. I think he has said Soma. Soma, if you type, it will come. So yeah, so like that. So that's about this verse. And okay, let's see. Okay, so that's why Soma is called Amrita. It's called Amrita. Amrita means eternal. Soma is glorified as Amrita. Somam Amrita Rupam. Because why Soma is glorified as Amrita? Because in itself, drinking Soma, you don't become eternal. That doesn't happen. But Soma helps you to attain immortality, because Soma helps you to do devotion and helps you to serve God nicely, especially in context of demigods. And if you serve him nicely, you become immortal. That's why Somam Amritam Rupam. And that's why you see when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking Bhagavatam, it is said that demigods came to Sukadeva Goswami and they said to him, you please recite Bhagavatam to us. And Bhagavatam is called Amrit Katha. Simply by hearing Bhagavatam, you can become immortal, because you can get connected to God. So they said, okay, let's do a contract. You give us Bhagavatam, we'll give you. You give us one Amrit, and we'll give you another Amrit. You give us Bhagavatam Amrit, and we will give you Soma Amrit. That was a contract. And so they said, you nonsense demigods, get lost from here, because there's no comparison of both. Soma is called Amrit, but actually it's not Amrit, because after drinking Soma, you have to meditate on God, and that makes you really immortal. So Soma is actually Anukul to attain immortality, but Bhagavat is Amrit itself. Bhagavat is Amrit. So Sukdev says, oh, come on, you are cheating me. You're cheating me my words. I understand what's this all about. And he said, you get lost. You just shoot them away. That's what was happening there. So that's what went. Now, what else can I tell you? I think, I think this is it. I think I'll stop here, because we have extracted so much from this verse. It was not a big thing, and I didn't know what exactly to tell here in this verse. But there's so many points there. This word, by the way, Hiranyamayana Patrena, this comes in Upanishad. If you really remember that, it comes in Upanishad. What's that verse? Hiranyamayana Patrena Satyasya Vihita Mukham Tattam Pushama Apavrinu, that verse goes like that. Tattam Pushama Apavrinu, Satya Dharmaya Kalpate. Something like this. So there it says, "Oh my Lord, please show your face, beautiful face." The prayer goes like that. It is shining like gold. Hiranya means gold. So here, of course, the word is used in a very literal sense. Hiranyamaya Patrina. Patrina means pot. Hiranyamaya means gold. Golden pot. But there, when it's used Hiranyamaya Patrina, it is said that Hiranyamaya Patrina is Upanishad. So there it is said that, "Oh my Lord, Satyasya Apihita Mukham, please show your face to me." Satyasya, which is full of truth, and which is full of splendor, and which is like Hiranyamaya, which is like a golden plate. That says like that. Hiranyamayana Patrena see it. By golden effulgence. Patrena means there in this Upanishad by dazzling effulgence. Patra. Their patra is used not in a sense of pot, but in a sense of divine patra. That means patra in that sense. What do we say? Patra means a pot. Patra also means an eligible person. Patrata, qualification. Patra. So here in that sense it is used. A golden qualification. Oh my Lord, your face is full of golden effulgence, truth and purity. When we see you, we immediately are actually affected by absolute truth, by absolute effulgence, by purity, by dancing by purity. That's the whole point. So you see the point is so that is Isopanishad verse 15. You can go and read that verse 15. The same thing is used. Hiranyamaya Patrina, the same here. But the difference is, here in this verse, Hiranyamaya Patrina is used in a very literal sense. Hiranyamaya means golden, Patrina means pot. But here it is used, Hiranyamaya is golden, of course golden, and Patrina means effulgence. So you have a golden effulgence. And this verse is actually very important, Hiranyamaya Patrina, because it's many times it is used in Vedas. If you read Vedas, especially Hiranyamaya. And here again it is. Prabhupada quotes here in the purport. So Mundaka Upanishad also says, Hiranyamayana pare koshe, virajam brahma nishkalam. Again and again this word Hiranyamaya comes. And Prabhupada says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is full of potency. And after the removal of Hiranyamaya Patra, one realizes Vasudevam Sarvamiti. So Hiranyamaya Patra also can mean a golden effulgence. And that can also mean Yog Maya, because Krishna says Yog Maya Samavrita. I cover myself with this effulgence of Yog Maya. And that's what is Hiranyamaya Patrena. And when that's removed, then we can see Vasudev. So you see the point like that. So I'm giving example of Sanskrit, where same word can mean many things. Hiranyamaya Patra can also mean golden pot. Hiranyamaya Patra also means golden effulgence. Hiranyamaya Patra also can mean Yog Maya, because that effulgence which covers the Lord, that is Yog Maya. So like that, one word can mean many things. Soma can mean nectar. Soma can mean also mean moon, because moon produces Soma. Soma can also mean Soma Vansh, Chandra Vansh, a dynasty of Soma. And Soma can also mean Shiva, because Lord Shiva carries moon on his in his locks of hair. So that's why Shiva is sometimes called Somnath also. So there are many. Soma can also mean cold. Generally, very cold things are called as Soma. So like that, there are many meanings to one word. So even in this verse, you can take out many other meanings, but that's not the purpose. The purpose we have solved here. So anybody wants to ask anything, if you want Somras, then you can order it from Planet Moon. You can get probably Maybe you can go to Amazon.com and search and order some somas. Probably you can get it from Afghanistan somewhere, some tea of som. Of course, it will not be the same effect, but might be available. Who knows? Because it's there in Afghanistan. But the whole point is, it would be very different. It's tasty, but it's not the same effect because the process of making nobody knows. In fact, Veda says Soma plant curd is mixed, and many of the metals might be mixing. They might be processing, and just like you can process, you can make mercury into gold by a process. There's a technique for doing that, and in that technique, you have to also use urine, your own urine, and then it converts. There's some so Prabhupada says something somewhere. So you have to drink mercury, and then you have to. But of course, if you drink mercury, then you become poisoned, isn't it? So you have to process it and then drink it, and then it comes out of your urine, and then you have to put some other thing in that, and then it comes into gold. That's the whole thing. So, but how to do? Nobody knows, because you can die. So to make somras out of som, there are techniques. There no demigods, no, and in fact, I think only demigods would be able to do it, because if we do it, probably we'll die. It should be a big secret, because it's a main thing of family planets. It should be a big secret first of all, and it should be very difficult to do that. Almost impossible on earthly planets, because otherwise their whole secret cracks. Everything is based on somras there. Without that, demigods become weak and they're not able to do anything. So like that. Okay, so I'll stop here. If anybody wants to ask anything, Hare Krishna, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Yeah, somras ki jai. That's how it goes. Okay, anybody wants to ask anything, you can ask me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the beautiful class. Is there anybody having any question? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That was pronounced. Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for your assistance.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam, Prabhu. This is Sureshwar Sham from Charlotte, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji, for very nice, interesting points and very detailed information on the Soma juice rasa part. Prabhuji, one question. In Bhagavad Gita, if you see in 9th chapter, 20 verse, right? This is mentioned, Prabhu. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. And 920, Prabhu. This is 921.
Where it is given?
In 920, Prabhu. Chapter 9, verse 20.
So Gita, no?
Yeah, Gita, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you got it, huh? Yeah, Traya Vidyamam Som Paputa Papa. Yeah, you're right, huh? Yeah.
Prabhuji, this verse and next verse, if you see, Prabhu, it's giving in the context of sensual enjoyment, Prabhuji. When studying the Vedas and drinking the Soma juice, is directing to think in the way of
their whole enjoyment in Swarg Lokam is Tetam Bhuktva Swarga Lokam Vishalam. Their whole enjoyment is not like our enjoyment. Prabhupada says it the purport. One is promoted to high priority system, enjoys a longer duration of life, better facilities for sense enjoyment. You see? So their whole thing is not like us. Like for us, sense enjoyment is sex and violence, and it's like that. Or maybe gross sense enjoyment, just eating and sleeping and mating. You see, but their sense enjoyment is very different. Their sense enjoyment is they get a long life. They get all facilities, better facilities for staying, and of course there are apsaras also. But the whole point is, most of these demigods, the facilities which they get, by which the senses are not really put into so much suffering, or there's so many facilities. They use those facilities to actually evolve themselves further into devotional consciousness. That's what is happening there. this I'm talking about major demigods. Again, I have to keep in mind there might be some demigods which are spaced out, like Gandharvas and all these. But most of them, like for example, what Gandharvas are doing? The Gandharvas are singing. Now they've got special facilities of nice air, nice environment. They have got juice rivers. They have got apsaras. But then what they're doing there? They are making songs to glorify God. That's allowed. That's the only thing they're singing. They are not allowed to sing Bollywood, Hollywood, Nollywood songs. They'll be just cursed there. They're not allowed to sing there. It's all Vishnu. So the whole point is, even in the sense enjoyment, they are connecting with God. They don't forget Vishnu. That's demigod. That is divine. They're devas. You have to understand. So their whole sense enjoyment is a very different plane altogether. It's like earthly sense enjoyment is there, lower planetary sense enjoyment is there. All are sense enjoying, but their sense enjoyment, they use it as anukul to develop their, to actually help them advance in devotional service. Of course, that at the same time sometimes becomes a block also, because doing devotion in such kind of facilities, it might make them forget God. That's a drawback there. But at the same time, people who are sensible, they use these sense facilities and the long duration of life to actually develop good qualities, serve God in the capacity, and serve His mission and manage this universal affairs. That's how they do. And then they again fall down. So it's a very different thing. Their sense enjoyment is very different thing. This is all explained by Madhva and Ramanuja. So especially Madhvacharya, he says, when you say demigods are their all sense enjoyment, it's not like us. It's not like we completely forget God in sense enjoyment, isn't it? For it's like that. For demigods, it's not like that. For sages, it's not like that. Srila Prabhupada gives one verse in Bhagavatam that Yagyavalka and Agatsai, he quotes this verse that generally wife or a woman is a bondage, but for Yagyavalka and Agatse and these kind of rishis who are prajapatis, for them wife is a boon, that they come together and serve God. Why? Because they are prajapatis. They need a female. Daksha needs a female to serve God. He needs to produce progeny. So in that case, wife is not a bondage. Wife is a door to liberation. Woman is a door to liberation, because using her, they can fulfill the desire of God. So demigods are very expert and very alert and full of all virtues, and they can use these facilities to serve God. There's the sensual enjoyment, the sensual pleasures, they can use it to serve God. Here also it's like that in Krishna consciousness. So just like we get better facilities, so then we can serve Krishna better, isn't it? Suppose if you have to write a book, you have to do something research, then you need some facilities. You need a good place to stay and food and at least a good environment so your mind works. So then you can say, oh, so then it's such a they're enjoying sensually, but no, you need that to do some research, to write books. Just like so many sannyasis in ISKCON, they get so many facilities. Then what do you say about that? You get car, you get nice rooms and this and that and AC and everything. So are they enjoying? Yes, of course, there is enjoyment in that. Of course, there's enjoyment. It's comfortable, it's everything nice. But at the same time, they're using all this in service of God because they're expert and they are not only expert but alert, and they are conscious of what they're doing. So they are able to use it. So like that. So they use. So that's the whole thing. We have to understand in that spirit. Otherwise what happens? Otherwise you make demigods like dogs and cats, isn't it? If you say then they fulfill sense enjoyment and they fall back. So then are they dogs and cats, or what's happening? They're just doing sex with apsaras and drinking wine. What's happening? They are not like barbarians. Otherwise they become malechas. Then what's the difference between malechas and demigods? Malechas are also doing the same thing, drinking wine and doing sex and enjoying and having parties. Do we mean to say that, or interpret this verse like that? If you interpret like that, then they're malechas. They're out of Swarga. That's all. So it's not like that. So we have to interpret it in a very different way, and that interpretation is provided in Madhva. That what do you mean by tetam bhuktva swarga lokam? What do you mean by sense enjoyment in heavenly planets? So when in heavenly planets, so Madhva even goes to the extent when in heavenly planets, these demigods are doing sex with their wives or apsaras. They're in a very different consciousness. It's not like what we do. They are doing for actually progeny. They're doing in such a fashion that the whole mind is absorbed in actually God, in divine consciousness. Now, what they're exactly what's happening, we can't understand. But whatever they're doing, they're trying to connect it with God. In fact, when general demigods, they do all this enjoyment with apsaras, they do for their pleasure, just like Krishna is enjoying with gopis, and then they're serving. These apsaras are serving their masters, and then they are glorifying God. It's actually even. I mean to say, what to talk of spiritual world. Even heavenly planets are beyond our conception. That Madhva says, because we are like cats and dogs. We can't understand any damn thing, and that's why you see the point. This your whole point is important there, because most of the devotees, they think, yeah, demigods are like sense enjoyers. They're bloody barbarians. They're drinking wine and apsara. Come on, it's crazy. They're demigods. They are divine. Divine means Krishna says in the 16th chapter, demigods are full of all divine qualities. Devi gun. That's the whole point. They are glorified in Vedas. So their level of things are very different. So that's how we have to understand this whole thing. Is it clear? Is it clear to you?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Very clear, Prabhuji. Yeah. Prabhu, one simple question, Prabhu. When we mean heavenly planets, it means all the planets above the earth till Satyaloka is heavenly planets, Prabhu?
All the planets above Satyaloka? No,
above the Earth planet.
No. Above Earth planet, there is Bhu Bhovar. There above Bhu means Earth. There is Bhovar. Bhovar Lok is where all these yakshas and subtle entities, pishachas, they stay. Ghostly things, they stay there. Bhovar plane, Bhovar. And above Bhovar is Swaha, which is Swarga planets, where there is Vayu, Indra, Chandra, and all these things, Surya, Gandharvas. And then above Swarga is Maharjanas Tapasatte. Those planets, rishis and tapasvis and devotees and Brahma and very advanced people who are Brahman realized, they stay. So those are different, and Swarga is different.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, this is off topic. I was reading Krishna book with my son, and my son brought up this question, Prabhu. In chapter 6, in the killing of Putana, we had Yashoda Amma and Nanda Maharaj. They were worshipping the deities of Vishnu, and they were reciting Vishnu mantra. So his question was basically, they don't know about Krishna because there was no Krishna avatar at that point in time. So so is it that they thought Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So I just thought, okay, let me ask you and then clarify him.
Oh, actually, for them, Krishna is not supreme. For them, Krishna is a baby, and they can't. Even if you tell them he's supreme, they'll not accept it. So of course, if Krishna is not supreme, then they should be worshipping someone. So in general, what Vedas state is Narayan or Vishnu. People generally traditionally worship Narayan, Vishnu. So their local deity was Vishnu. Actually, their local deity was actually Vishnu, or their local deity was Narayana, in the form of Narayana. Vishnu in the form of Narayana. So, or maybe the original form of Vishnu, Narayana, and that deity which actually they were worshipping in Braj, isn't it? The deity which they were worshipping in Braj.
Yes.
That deity is
Yes.
that it is still there in Guru Vayu. So if you go to Guru Vayu, so you know Guru Vayu, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
So that deity is the deity which actually Nanda Baba Yashodama were worshipping in Braj, because for them Narayana was God. So because their whole mode is different, so Krishna doesn't allow them to even understand that he's God, because he wants to keep that kind of relationship of mother and father. Because if isn't it, if they understand he's God, then the whole rasa is gone. So to protect that rasa, Yoga Mayas. So that's why they are worshipping Narayana, and that is why you see Krishna as a tilak, isn't it?
Got it.
So Krishna as a tilak. So who's tilak? It is tilak of Narayana. Yashodama puts tilak to Krishna, just like we put to actually safeguard him, like that.
Got it, Prabhu. That makes perfect sense. And with regards to gopis, as you talked about, there is no mercy that Krishna gives them. It is that they have forsaken everything for their love. Is that right?
Oh, you are no. So you are Radhika. Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
I'm Radhika from Awesome Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Oh, so you are from Sacramento, huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, okay, fine. So so continue. So then.
Yes, Prabhu. So with regards to them, I thought initially Radharani was shy, but then so because of her love and affection for Krishna, that quality of shyness is gone in her. Is that right, Prabhu? Like, because the love is so deep that they just didn't care about that. She didn't care about being shy, but she just expressed her fully to Krishna.
Yeah, you're right. Because spiritual word, to say that Krishna is merciful in spiritual word, it's actually blasphemy, nonsense. Because the concept of mercy is very, 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 very low in front of love. Because I have to say, you don't say that that the mother is doing mercy on child, isn't it? You don't say like that. No?
Yes.
It becomes awkward. Or you don't say that the husband is doing mercy to wife. It's crazy. Generally, so we say mother is expressing a love to child, or husband and wife. That's love. So so mercy doesn't stand in front of love. It has no value there. So mercy is generally in material world. There is mercy, the concept of mercy, because we don't have love. But in spiritual world, it's all love. There is no mercy. You can say it like that. In spiritual world, there's no mercy. There's just love. And because of that, and the nature of love is very, very difficult to understand. And you're right, because of love, then they leave all their shyness, and then they are interacting with Krishna in a very different way, just to please him. That's how it goes.
Okay. Yeah. And another question, Prabhu. So my kids were asking the same question. With regards to other religions, will they not get liberated and be Christianity or being Muslims? And I just told them it is like us having having to read higher level mathematics, where we have the access to the highest, and then they are in the lower level subject. Eventually they will get to the highest level subject, like how we are doing, but they'd have to get to the stage. Is that right, Prabhu?
But you know what, if you tell something like this to Christians and Muslims, they will become offended. They'll not like that, isn't it?
Yes, they will not like it. But my son,
of course, they're not like that. And then we tell them. So it philosophically it is correct. Philosophically, but at the same time, it has to be put in a very because it's a very sensitive question, isn't it? Very sensitive question. So it can create riots if I mean to say, if you go to if a Muslim crowd, you can't say it like this. Now the whole point is to put it across. It's better to tell that yes, any tradition, you keep the answer open, just like Prabhupada used to say. Prabhupada never said like this, isn't it? That those are lower forms, and then our is higher. Prabhupada might have said in some room conversation somewhere, but in and that too I don't know. But in public, Prabhupada never said like that, isn't it? I never read like that. So then what's happening? Even in his, even in the paupers somewhere Prabhupada might have mentioned. But the whole point is Prabhupada always said that all religions are teaching how to love God. Isn't it?
True,
Oh, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Oh, you're hearing. So any religion which teaches you to love God, that's a true religion, and that's what we should be doing. So anybody who asks about Hindu, Muslim, will they not reach God? You tell any sincere devotee, you keep it open, whether they're Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or us. If you love God, if you learn how to love God, you will go back to Godhead. Whether it's Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or Vaishnavism, or whatever. And if your scripture teaches you how to love God, then you go back to God. That's all. Just that's it. I think we can. If we can finish the answer here, that's the perfect thing. And then people can take it themselves. But if they really pester you, okay, no, but then Bible and Quran, is it equal to Vedas and this? Then you might have to go in all these technicalities. But then also you can, then also to say they are inferior, that's not a good idea. We can put it like that. If they ask, okay, what about Quran Bible? Is Quran Bible above than Vedas? Isn't it? I mean to say people talk like that, or Vedas are higher. Then you can say, well, it's not higher and lower. It's not the point of higher and lower. It's a point of detailed analysis. So Quran and Bible, they also give the basic principles. All the books are giving basic principles. If anybody has read Bible, if anybody has read Quran, they say love Allah, love Almighty Father, isn't it? So Christ also said, so love thy Lord with all thy strength, all thy body, isn't it? All thy heart, and that's the greatest commandment. Moses gave 10 commandments, but Christ says no. There is one greatest commandment. Greatest commandment is love thy Lord with all thy strength, all thy body, all thy heart. So their books also gives basic principles. Christianity talks about charity. Charity in the spirit of preaching. They're talking in that spirit. So, but then what is love? What is the definition of love? Let's talk about that. That's not there. You see, or maybe God, or maybe Almighty Father. What's the form of that Father? That's not there. So principles all books are giving, but detailed analysis, Vedas are actually giving more detailed analysis on those subject matters. So okay, so you can read Bible, you can read Quran, and you can read Vedas, and you can get more detailed information, and you can go ahead. That's all. Then actually, you know what, it makes sense, and then people can accept. And because as soon as you talk about the inferior, we are higher. It becomes, isn't it? It becomes funny. Who will accept?
Yeah. Right,
like that?
You know, especially when with regards to regulative principles, they don't have. So meat eating is allowed, and that's when this question came with my sons. They do drink. So is that okay? I mean, for them, it's not prescribed for them to do that. Hence, they are not doing. Maybe they are loving God. We don't know, but you know.
But nobody can tell your child that good Christians, they don't eat meat. I mean to say, this is all. I mean, previously, many orders in Christianity, like for example, Orthodox Christianity. Orthodox Christianity. This is all modern Christianity, Catholicism, and Protestants, and even among Catholicism and Protestants, there are some orders which don't eat meat. Many of them naturally, they understand that mercy is what God likes, and they don't eat meat. And Orthodox Christians, they don't eat meat. Orthodox Christians, they're banned, and they said that they say according to real Hebrew Bible text, meat is not allowed. Thou shalt not kill. Father was emphasizing on that, isn't it? So they don't eat meat. Even good. Even good Islam, even good Muslims, they don't eat meat. I've met so many of them because they understand that Allah is all merciful. And Quran doesn't make meat eating compulsory. You see the point there? Quran says if you have to eat meat, then you follow this process, but it's not compulsory. In fact, in fact, one of the famous Sufi saints, I think his name was Ibn Bakur, I forgot his name. He's a very famous Sufi saint, and so he writes that once there was one prophet in Quran where so one person came and asked that prophet that that can we eat. So that person comes to prophet and he said, you see the point, everybody's eating meat, and so without offering sacrifices of meat to Allah, um, so we will not become dear to Allah. But as far as I'm concerned, as soon as I think of meat, I actually have disgust. I cannot eat meat. I cannot actually even sacrifice an animal. So that means Allah will never have mercy on me. So what do you say that? So Prophet Muhammad, yeah, that person came to Prophet Muhammad, the Sufi saint. He's actually writing that story, and then so Prophet, he said, okay, you go back and I'll ask Allah, and then he comes back, and and then he said, okay, so did you ask the Prophet? So he asked Prophet, did you ask Allah? Prophet said, yes, I asked Allah, and Allah said, yes. Yes, people who sacrifice meat to me by the procedure which I told them, they are dear to me, and they will come back to me after this life. But tell this person who is having disgust even to see animals being killed, he will not come back to me after this life. He's already there within my heart. Now, that's also there. So, if you read Quran and Bible and other traditions, people understand. True people understand. Like that.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, as always, for your detailed responses and detailed talk on the subject. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Danod pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. A different class, giving a different perspective of demigods and somaras, and also wonderful unanswered sessions. Prabhuji, I don't know if you have time. This verse from Bhagavatham, Canto 8,
Yeah.
Chapter
Which one?
5.
Chapter 5?
No, Canto 8, Chapter 5, Text 34.
Yeah, okay, let me just open it. Canto 8, Chapter 5, Text?
34.
Text?
34.
Yeah. Soma, it's talking about Soma, yeah. Soma mano yasya samananti. Okay, yeah, so what is Soma? The moon is source of food, brains, strength, longevity for all demigods. Is also the master of vegetation, the source of generation for all living entities. As stated by learned scholars, the moon is the mind of Supreme Salty Godhead. May that Supreme Salty Godhead, the source of all opulences, be pleased with us. Yeah, so, yeah, it is nice.
Prabhuji, here it's mentioned that Soma is a source of food grains. And therefore, so I was wondering if you can tell more on this.
Yeah, actually, what is this? Soma is a source of food grains because it is the moon which provides rasa in food. It's not the sun. Sun helps the plant to grow as a job of sunlight. But as far as the wheat grains and the rice grains on the plant, so you see, so if you have seen actually rice and dal and grains growing, first they appear as a liquid in the bud, in that thing, and then the liquid hardens and it becomes a grain. So do you know this?
No.
Okay. So you ask any farmer, he'll tell you. And if you see, I mean, we are now because we are living in farmhouse, so I saw that. So initially when the plant grows and the flower So on the top of that, so a bud grows which is full of liquid, and then the liquid becomes hard, and that becomes grain. So that's how grains are made. So that liquid is a rasa of that plant. So the plant grows by sunlight, but that rasa is made by moon, and then that rasa is converted into grain. So that's why it is said that moon provides food grains. It's not the sun. There, the whole point is this, and that we understand that. So that's one thing. If you ask about food grains, and then what else? Like I mean to say, that's what you wanted to ask. The source of that's a moon is source of food grains, not sun. And then strength and longevity for all demigods. Strength and longevity for all demigods, that is through somras. That's not through food grains. Somam mano yasse samamananti diva aukasam. Diva aukasam, that's demigods. Yo balam andhayu. So balam means strength, and andha means provides food. Ayu means the duration of life. So Soma is responsible on the earthly planets. It provides food grains, energy food grains. On the heavenly planets, it provides strength and longevity by Somras. That's how it goes. And then he's also the master of all vegetation. He's a master of all vegetation. Now, oh yeah, this is the Isho Naganam Prajana Prajanam Prasidatam Na Mahavibhuti of all vegetation. Yeah, it's not there in Sanskrit, but probably they're taking the food as vegetation. But yeah, okay, yeah, Naganam. He's a master Isha of Naganam. Not sorry, it's not Naganam. It is Naganam. Naga means actually vegetable. So if you go to Punjab, if you say Nag, Nag means what in Punjabi? Nag. Yeah. I think in Punjabi, if you say Nag, Nag means a bunch of anything, a bunch of something. So generally vegetables are given in bunches. They're tied and they're given. So Naganam means vegetables. So vegetables. So moon is a master of vegetables because the whole point in vegetables and fruits is taste. Otherwise, they're useless. I mean to say, if all vegetables have no taste, then everything will be like potato. So that taste is provided by moonlight. Sun doesn't provide the taste. So that's how it goes. So it's a master of vegetations, and that is why if the more moonlight there is, the more tasty the vegetables will be, and that's why when you so that's why you see this this modern cultivation which they do in this greenhouses. Yeah, so you know about greenhouses, no? So they cover it. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Especially in the winter, we use that here.
Yeah. So they cover the whole field, and especially in China and America, then they're also doing indoor vegetables and all this with artificial things. So the whole point is those vegetables don't have any taste. They are very big. In your America, you are in America. Come on, your vegetables have no taste at all. Anybody who's come to India, they know the taste of vegetables and fruits, and there are so big fruits and but no taste because they're not getting sufficient moonlight. It's all undercover, and they don't get moonlight, and then they don't taste. They become big but no taste. So that's how it goes. So there's a problem there. So that's why it's called the Lord of Vegetations. And these vegetations are not just vegetables. This is also trees. This is also Vanaspati. So moon is also the Lord of Vanaspati. Vanaspati means trees and herbs, especially also, and medicines, because you get medicines from Vanaspati. Vanaspati means trees and herbs. So moon is the master of medicines and Vanaspati and trees and flowers. You see the whole point. Moon is very important for us. because then there'll be no medicine if there's no soma. And in fact, this so many medicines, they are also called as soma in Ayurveda, because these medicines, the power which they have is the medicinal power they have to moon. So moon has so many functions there, and that is why it is called Mahavibhuti, the source of all opulences. Now these opulences are not just what do we say? It's opulences means food. It means vegetables. It means herbs and medicines. It means ornamental flowers and trees. And this is what makes anything beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful and lively. And in fact, moon is very cool, moonlight. So it makes everything very gorgeous, very serene. Krishna also does his Ras Leela when there's full moonlight. He waits for moonlight, full moon. So it makes everything great and grandeur and opulent. Where there's plenty of food, there's a lot of flowers, there's a lot of medicines, no disease. That's grandeur. That's Mahavibhuti. And in fact, one more thing, moon also provides mystic powers. Just like moon provides, the whole point is moon provides rasa. That's the whole point. Somras, and then Virya ras, Indriya ras, you see, Vanaspati ras, and then Anna ras. All this, it's providing rasa. So the whole point is it's also providing mystic powers. So rasa means essence. It's providing the essence of food, grain, the essence of any tree, flowers, the essence of herbs, medicine, and so the essence of these universal laws, that's mystic powers. You can actually flout universal laws. You can go against universal laws. That's a mystic power, subtle. Moon provides that because all these because all these tantric practices, they are mostly done in full moon light. This full moon Purnima, most of these tantric practices are done, and this moon provides mystic powers by actually functioning on the mind, because moon is a deity of mind, and you need a very energetic frame of mind to actually go into deep meditation and access those mystic powers which are hidden in silence of this universe. And that can only be done on Purnima, when moon is very active, and moon can pull water, isn't it? Tidal waves are there, and moon has a big influence on mind. So moon also provides mystic power. You see, that's why Soma is very important in our lives, all because of all these factors. That's how it goes. By that Supreme Self Godhead. The moon is the mind of Supreme Self Godhead. See this. So yeah, it's a good verse. Yeah, 8:5:34. Yeah. Oh, so how did you get to this verse? You just searched it or what? Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Very, very detailed, wonderful explanation, and I'm sorry for keeping you wait for long. Thank you.
No, that's fine. That's fine enough. I have time. Yeah, so I think we'll stop here or what?
Yeah, Prabhuji, thank you so much for the beautiful class, Prabhuji, and very nice question answer session. Okay, we'll offer obeisances to the Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas. Vanja kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shilaridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Keshavanand Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
This session is no longer being recorded. Goodbye.